Now, for more on this, Dana Lewis is at the scene in London. Dana, just talk us through what happened exactly and what's going on there right now.
Good morning, Sully. I'm just sort of about a block away from Finsbury Mosque, outside the police cordons here. There's a very big police presence, and some of them are armed police. And it took us about, I'd say, 20 minutes just to try and get into the scene here. So they have blocked it off for several blocks in all the directions. And essentially what people are telling us is that just after 12 o'clock, around 12:20 in the morning, as people were coming out of midnight prayer, the worshippers were struck by a van, that a van intentionally had been standing nearby, had waited, and then when they saw a large crowd of people exiting the mosque, the van then drove in to that crowd. The London Ambulance Service is confirming that there are 8 patients taken to 3 different hospitals at this point. It is being now reported that there is 1 fatality. So the police have cordoned off this area. They are calling it a major incident. They have not used the word terrorism, but certainly others on the scene are telling us that this is an act of terrorism as far as they're concerned. And in fact, there is some criticism of British media that they haven't immediately called it an act of terror, when in other incidents they have used that term. So the situation is very stable now. This happened hours ago. They have blocked it off. The police are keeping very big cordons and very big police presence in the area. Lots of people from the local area have gathered here, and we've been talking to some of them, and some of them are obviously very upset about what has happened. The Muslim Council, in fact, has raised the alarm that there have been many Islamophobic attacks across the United Kingdom since these terror attacks occurred in Manchester, outside Parliament, and then at the Borough Market, and they say that they want more police presence. But that's sort of what we have at this point.
Is there any more information in terms of the people involved, in terms of the attackers, or the person involved in terms of the attacker? There has been a few allegations that there were several people that got out of the truck. What more do you know?
I think it's very early to talk about those details, in the sense that there has been no confirmation, but it has been widely reported sort of in British press this morning. Some say that there were 3 people involved. Others say that there was 1 man involved, that after he drove the van into members of the public as they were exiting the mosque, that he then got out of the van. He may have been subdued by the crowd, because as the police showed up on the scene, the man that was arrested apparently had been pushed forward by members of the crowd, so it looks like that they had been holding him. So at least 1 man was involved, possibly more, but nobody officially has confirmed the idea that there were 3 attackers. Right now, the police and most of the British media are going with the fact that there was 1 attacker, and that the man was arrested, and he was arrested by the crowd and then handed over to the police.
And Dana, Theresa May has just spoken and said that the police are treating this event as a potential terror attack. Do you know that if that will change at all the way that the police go about their operations today at the scene?
Well, we know that the counter-terror police are already on the scene, so that tells you where the investigation was going sort of from the beginning. But that confirmation by the Prime Minister calling it a possible terror attack would certainly bolster what we're hearing on the street from people here, that they view it as an attack to spread terror, and an attack on innocent people as they left the mosque.
And just describe for us, Dana, if you could, the mood of the people there. I'm not sure how many there are still left there on the scene where you are now, but scenes from earlier show a lot of people gathered in the streets. Were they standing stoically? Are they still there? How is the sentiment there at the moment?
I mean, I would describe it as a few right now. It's not hundreds of people. It would be, 50, 60 people outside the police cordon here. Some of them have come from morning prayer. 1 man I just talked to, he drove from East London after he finished his morning prayers, and he came here to give his condolences and give his support to the community. And he was very angry that the authorities had been so slow to call this a terror attack. He said it's a double standard, it's unfair. We've seen a great rise in Islamophobic attacks on the Muslim population in the UK, and people just generally feel here, the ones that we've been talking to at least, that there's sort of a a double standard when it comes to these attacks. That the British media, especially the official ones like the BBC, are very quick to call these acts of terror in other incidents, but on this one they were a bit slow, and I think that it doesn't help the street to some extent when people are angry that something like this occurred.